The UAE has denied reports that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu secretly visited the Gulf country during the recent war involving Iran, despite claims from Netanyahu's own office that such a meeting took place. In a statement issued late Wednesday, the Emirati government rejected suggestion of undisclosed or unofficial meetings with Israel, stressing that relations between the two countries are conducted openly under the framework of the Abraham Accords. The UAE said its ties with Israel are public and transparent, dismissing reports of unannounced visits or undisclosed arrangements as unfounded. The denial came only hours after Netanyahu's office announced that the Israeli leader had held talks with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan during what it described as a secret visit carried out amid the bombing campaign against Iran. Netanyahu's office called the meeting a historic breakthrough in relations between the two countries, although it did not specify when the visit supposedly took place. The conflicting statements have drawn attention because they come at a highly sensitive moment in the region. Tensions between Iran and Gulf Arab states remain elevated after months of conflict involving the United States, Israel, and Tehran. At the same time, cooperation between Israel and some Gulf countries appears to be quietly expanding, especially on security and defense issues linked to Iran. This week, US Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee said Israel had deployed Iron Dome air defense systems and personnel to the UAE to help defend against possible Iranian missiles or drone attacks.
Can I say a word of appreciation, deep appreciation and admiration for the United Arab Emirates? I think that the UAE is an example. They were the first Abraham Accord member. But look at the benefits that they have had as a result. Israel just sent them Iron Dome batteries and personnel to help operate them. How come? Because there's an extraordinary relationship between the UAE and Israel based on the Abraham Accords. The Emiratis have an education system that is the gold standard of how to change a culture. On October the 7th, they were flying 17 flights a day between the Emirates and Israel, and the next day, on the 8th, they were flying 17 flights. They continued to do that. When every other airline, including all the U.S. airlines, stopped flying into Israel, and all the Europeans stopped flying into Israel, the one nation whose planes continued to fly regularly in and out of Israel were the Emiratis.
The comments highlighted the growing strategic coordination between Israel and the Gulf states, despite continuing political sensitivities around public opinion in the Arab world. The UAE and other Gulf states were themselves targeted by Iranian missile and drone attacks earlier this year after US and Israel launched strikes against Iran in February. Although a fragile ceasefire brokered by Pakistan between Iran and the United States has technically remained in place since April 8th, tensions across the region remain extremely fragile. Relations between Israel and the UAE officially began improving after signing of the Abraham Accords in 2020, a US-backed agreement that normalized ties between Israel and several Arab states. At the time, the accords were presented as a major diplomatic breakthrough that would reshape Middle East policies and potentially reduce regional tensions. But the agreement was heavily criticized by Palestinian leaders who viewed it as abandoning the Palestinian cause while Israel continued occupation and settlement expansion in Palestinian territories. Since then, the region has undergone dramatic changes. Israel's genocide in Gaza, military operations in Lebanon, and continuing tensions with Iran have placed new pressures on Arab governments balancing security cooperation with Israel against growing anger among their own populations over the humanitarian situation in Gaza. The issue has become even more controversial because Netanyahu is currently facing an arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court over war crimes linked to the Gaza conflict.